What pathway does Christian pursue? Does he end up in another Champions League team where he's got to prove himself just to get into the first 11 every week? Or does he drop down a level, rebuild his confidence like KDB at Wolfsburg style? Gent is still only 24.
People close to him are exploring the Italian market because in Italy, in general, when you sign players from Premier League, they're always becoming stars in Serie A.
Fab, let's dive into the jungle together and start with the biggest team in world football. You mentioned them already, Everton Football Club, who back-to-back years defended their 17th place championship. Everton, Fab, we are the Napoli of sadness. First, the big question everyone in world football is asking, what are Everton's chances of signing Jude Bellingham?
I think this is going to be difficult. I think we just have to wait for the official statement of Real Madrid because this is almost done. I'm sorry for Everton fans, but Jude Bellingham is going to be Real Madrid player, just waiting to complete something on the add-on structure, between Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund, because Real Madrid will bid 100 million euros and some add-ons included, around 20-25 million euros in add-ons. So they are discussing the add-on structure, and then Jude Bellingham will become new Real Madrid player.
Bite your arm off for Jude Bellingham, to be honest. But seriously on Everton, we know that the great Colombian shithousing king Yerry Mina is moving on. Godspeed to him, incredible human being. But what are our chances of keeping that young Belgian poet warrior Amadou Onana, just 21, been with us a season, could have actually left in the winter transfer window, didn't, and we'll always love him for it.
Yeah, honestly, that was something really unexpected, because to see that kind of player in that kind of situation in January, it was really difficult to find someone to say no to Chelsea. So credits to Onana. Let me say that I think Everton have a chance to keep the player. I think they have a chance. It's not going to be easy, but they have a chance because he really loves the club. He really loves the atmosphere, the city, the teammates. So he has a special connection with the club. And also, at the moment, while we're speaking, there is nothing advanced. I saw new rumors about Chelsea in the last 24, 48 hours, but I'm told that Chelsea are busy with Ugarte, this midfielder from Sporting, so they have not made Onana their priority, and this is positive news for Everton. Also, let's see what's going to happen in the coming months, because maybe in July, in August, some big club can arrive and put big money on Onana. But at the moment, the situation is quiet, and the player is not desperate to leave. So I think this is a very good news for Everton. Let's see how that will evolve, but at the moment, the situation is still quiet.
What happens now at Leeds United? Implosion on the field. Particularly interested in two players with American undertones. First, Tyler Adams, US captain, who shone at Leeds. And then, well, his March injury really coincided with Leeds' tailspin. What options are you hearing about for Tyler?
Yeah, I'm sure there is a lot of interest in Tyler Adams. He's in Premier League and also in Bundesliga. Some Bundesliga club is already thinking of the opportunity to attack that situation and try to sign Tyler Adams. I think there is a crucial point for all the Leeds players. They are all waiting to see what kind of project they will have, because Leeds president Andrea Radrizzani is now busy to buy Sampdoria, and he's in this negotiation with the Italian club. Then the director of football, Victor Orta, left the club a few weeks ago, and so that position has to be clarified. Who is going to be the director of football? Who's going to decide on the project? What kind of project it will be? To return in Premier League immediately, or maybe different kind of project? So that is going to be a crucial step. And then the manager, because of course Sam Allardyce is leaving the club. They will go for a young manager. This is what I'm told. But again, who's going to be? What kind of idea he will have? What kind of system? So all the players are basically waiting. But I think there will be a chance for Tyler Adams to make his move, because at the moment the situation is still not advanced, nothing concrete. But some agents are approaching people to understand what's going to happen. And so I think for Tyler there will be an opportunity. Yes.
Another quasi-American there, Jack Harrison, meant to go to Leicester back in January. Even did his medical there. Deal fell apart at the last. How that might have changed the Foxes' season, we will never know. But Brenden Aaronson, so young, so bright in the first 2 months of the Premier League season, fell away incredibly post-World Cup. His young body and mind really battered by the Premier League Thunderdome. Yeah. And The Athletic reported yesterday, Brenden Aaronson has a relegation release clause in his contract, which means he can leave Leeds United. What are his realistic options?
Yeah, he can leave. This is true. There is this clause into the contract, so this is a concrete possibility. Because, as I mentioned before, for Tyler Adams, it's the same situation for Aaronson. He doesn't know about the future of the club, and this is why he's open to leaving the club. I'm sure there will be something in the Premier League, because some Premier League club was already following the situation of Aaronson. Again, Bundesliga, they are always keeping an eye on these talents, on these opportunities on the market, and so I would mention these two markets for him too, and for Tyler Adams. In a similar situation, again, now this is still not clear because they are waiting on Leeds to understand what they want to do with their project, but for sure both players could be on the market and could make their move in the summer.
Let's go to the big giants of English football, Chelsea Chaos. That's now the official name for the team. Todd Boehly has announced he's going to halve his time spent on the club. Mauricio Pochettino finally announced as the new manager. What are you hearing in terms of Poch's ability to make the decisions himself and become the culture builder that the club cries out for, as opposed to being caught up in the political anarchy that's really sunk Chelsea this season?
Yeah, I think your question is perfect, because it's crucial. It's absolutely crucial for Mauricio Pochettino to help Chelsea. They have a fantastic amount of money to invest on the market, a fantastic amount of talents, I would say, because I'm sure the players they signed, they're very good, but they were not, I would say, on the same page this season. It was really complicated for Graham Potter and then for Frank Lampard to work with 32, 33 players, and they have many on loan. So now for Mauricio Pochettino, it's crucial to make decisions together with the board. This is the point. Pochettino will do that, I'm sure, because he signed the contract with some guarantees to decide together with the club. So the first point is to sell players. I'm sure Chelsea in June will be really busy with the outgoings because Pulisic could be on the move, Kai Havertz could be on the move, Loftus-Cheek will be on the move because AC Milan are interested in him. Many players will be made available on the market like Hakim Ziyech, Pierre Aubameyang. I'm sure that also Romelu Lukaku wants to stay at Inter, and so they will try to find a solution. So for Chelsea, will be really busy with the outgoings and then attack the new signings. I'm sure they want to sign 3-4 players this summer. New number 9, new strikers, they need goals. And this is why they will be busy with the new number 9. We have to keep an eye on Victor Osimhen, on many other candidates, but this is not decided yet. New midfielder, and they are in negotiations for Manuel Ugarte from Sporting, as we mentioned before. This is a very good defensive midfielder. They are in negotiation around 60 million euros. He has a release clause at Sporting, but Chelsea are trying to pay with different payment terms, so maybe in 4 or 5 years. And this is the same for PSG. So there is a fight between Chelsea and PSG for Manuel Ugarte. And then, as I mentioned, I would keep an eye on the goalkeeper situation, because they need a new goalkeeper. They are exploring the goalkeepers market. And about Chelsea, keep an eye also on Moises Caicedo, because he's doing very well at Brighton and he remains a player in the list at Chelsea. So if they're able to sell many players in the summer, Caicedo could be an option for Chelsea too.
Yeah, Christopher Nkunku set to finally arrive from Leipzig. Who do you believe will be Chelsea's starting striker come the first day of the season, Fab?
Honestly, from what I understand, from what I told my sources, they see Nkunku as a player who can play behind the striker and not as number 9. Of course, he can help as number 9 too, but they want Nkunku to play behind the striker. So they need a new number 9. They will sign a new center striker. They love Victor Osimhen, but not having Champions League football, is always an issue when you go to negotiate with this kind of players. And negotiating with Napoli president De Laurentiis is always complicated. Imagine after winning a title. So when he has the best player in Serie A and after winning a Serie A title, it's going to be really difficult. From what I understand, Napoli have an intention to ask for 150 million euros for Victor Osimhen as price tag. So imagine how complicated that will be. And then we have to see also the other options, because there will be a strikers domino. We will see what happens with Harry Kane. We will see what's going to happen with Gonzalo Ramos from Benfica. So Chelsea are waiting in this moment for the striker. They wait to see what's going to happen in the coming weeks, and then they will go for a new number.
This is a striker-rich transfer window. I can imagine that negotiation between Napoli and Todd Boehly. Napoli asking for 150, Todd Boehly countering with 170, and just negotiating against himself. Can we touch quickly upon Mason Mount, who joined Chelsea, age of 6, was the captain, age 22, but now 24 years old. Seems like he's done with the chaos. Reportedly wants to move to Manchester United. One problem, United's ownership in flux. What happens here, Fab? Where will this English national treasure end up?
Yeah, this is not an easy situation for Chelsea, honestly, because they're trying to extend this contract in every way. As you mentioned, he's a special player for Chelsea, Coban player, so they want to keep him. They are really trying to find a solution, but it's complicated. There is no agreement on the length of the contract, on the salary, on many details, and this is why the situation looks difficult. At the moment, the contract extension is unlikely. Despite Mauricio Pochettino, since he signed at Chelsea, he started to speak to the player, to try to convince the player, but again, at the moment, it looks really difficult. There are 2 points. The first point is about the clubs interested. Manchester United, for sure, they love Mason Mount, and they are prepared to make a bid for Mason Mount, but as you mentioned, they have to clarify the owner situation before attacking these kind of big deals on the market. Then we have to see also what happens at Liverpool, because Mason Mount is a target also at Liverpool. They have his name in the list, but also I think it's going to be crucial to understand what Chelsea will decide to do with Mason Mount in terms of price tag. Because as of today, they keep asking 80 million euros, which is a lot of money for a player out of contract next summer. So all the clubs, including Man United, Liverpool, they are waiting for Chelsea to maybe ask for 150, 60, something like that, but they will not pay 80. So this is why it's a strategy moment, I would say, in the negotiation. We have to wait for a few weeks, but for sure the Mason Mount situation will be one of the big deals of the summer.
Christian Pulisic, we've got to assume he's just played for the last time in a Chelsea shirt. 4 seasons, 146 games, 26 goals, 4 managers. Honestly, I don't understand why he didn't leave this time last year. Pretty clear he was about to have a lost boy season amidst the chaos. Indeed, he played just 813 Premier League minutes this season. I think roughly he was booed for about 811 of them. So much rumour, swap deals, Newcastle, AC Milan, Napoli, which I can't believe Napoli. But what pathway does Christian pursue? Does he end up in another Champions League team where he's got to prove himself just to get into the first 11 every week? Or does he drop down a level, rebuild his confidence like KDB at Wolfsburg style? Gent is still only 24.
Yeah, and he wants to play football. This is the point. He can't continue like that. He has to be consistent. He has to be in the starting 11. This is absolutely crucial for him. This is why he's exploring, people close to him are exploring the Italian market, because in Italy, in general, when you sign players from Premier League, they're always becoming stars in Serie A. So this is very normal. Look at, for example, Edin Dzeko, who is now in the Champions League final with Inter, and Lukaku. All players coming from Premier League clubs are then making the difference. What I wanted to mention about this situation is that it's gonna be crucial to clarify that in the next few weeks, because honestly, at this moment, the player knows that it depends on the manager, but Mauricio Pochettino is very clear. He doesn't count on Pulisic. He doesn't count on many other players. So they will try to find a solution. There is a problem with the Italian market. This is very slow. So the player wants to clarify that in the next 2-3 weeks, but Italian market is very, very slow. Why? Because today I saw some links between Juventus and Pulisic. Yes, it's true, they appreciate him, the scouting department and people into the club. But they have no director of football at the moment. So who is going to be the director of football? Who is going to be the manager? This is not clear yet. And you can't sign a player for 30 million euros before knowing who's going to be your director of football. Same for Napoli, because the Juventus are now negotiating to get the director of football of Napoli. So they have to clarify that situation before understanding what's going to happen with Pulisic. So Italian market is going to be slow. I think this is going to be something for end of June, beginning of July. But Pulisic needs a solution as soon as possible. Otherwise, it could be the same situation as 1 year ago. Okay, Newcastle, something, okay, some requests from Manchester United, but then nothing concrete, and the player ended up staying. He can't stay at Chelsea. He needs to play, he needs to be consistent, and I'm sure that he will make his move.
I don't mean to be selfish, but get yourself sorted out, Italian football. Liverpool Football Club, season of disappointment by their own high standards. Sounds and looks as if Alexis McAllister will be headed to the northwest. But who else? What else will Liverpool fans be expecting, Fab? Poetry in motion? Or is this going to be a good year for small planes with protest banners in the Anfield area?
Yeah, today is a good day for Liverpool because finally they have a new director of football, George Schmatzke, who is joining from Wolfsburg. He was available on a free, of course, but he was working at Wolfsburg, and now he's going to work together with Jurgen Klopp on the new signings. He's already in negotiations with the agents, the representatives of Alexis McAllister, to get this deal done. Because, when there is a release clause, because there is a release clause into the contract of Alexis McAllister at Brighton, you have to be careful. They have an agreement on personal terms with McAllister, but they still have to clarify some details of the deal. And when there is a release clause, you have to be careful until the end, because other clubs can enter the race and sign the player in 24 hours. So this is why for Liverpool it's crucial to be fast on these final details on Alexis McAllister, but they are on the right way to get it done. I think they will sign 2 more midfielders. We mentioned Mason Mount is in the list. They appreciate really many players for that position because they are taking their time. They want to decide together with Jurgen Klopp, but it will be a busy market for Liverpool in the midfield. At least 2-3 signings there. Then a new centre-back. Liverpool are looking at the centre-backs market because they want one more. And so this is a concrete possibility. Let's see also the full-backs situation because, of course, Alexander-Arnold is a crucial player for them, but they can need a backup option there for a new right-back. So I think for Liverpool could be a 4-5 signing summer, and Jurgen Klopp really wants to rebuild the squad. So it will be a funny one.
Arsenal, a year to build and dream and go again, or fall back with just the memories of this nearly season. Those are the stakes. Xhaka gone to Leverkusen. I'll miss that Maverick king of chaos. But Declan Rice, Fab, will he shut his ears to West Ham fans' 10 more years chance and move to North London?
Yeah, honestly, Arsenal really want to get it done. Also because Granit Xhaka is going to Leverkusen. This is really advanced, almost completed. And the priority of Arsenal is Declan Rice. They are speaking to the player side. They are speaking to West Ham. They will make a bid after the Conference League final. They want to respect West Ham, of course, but right after Arsenal are prepared to make a bid. It's true that there is also Bayern interest, but at the moment it's not that advanced. So Arsenal still feel they are the favourites to sign Declan Rice. But again, this is not something guaranteed yet. From what I understand, we had some reports in England in the last 2-3 days that Declan Rice already made clear that he only wants to join Arsenal. I'm told this is not clear yet. I was speaking to some sources and they told me, be careful because Declan is keeping all the options open. Of course, Arsenal is a concrete option, but this is not 100% guaranteed yet. So I think this is still an open race, and we have to consider how important will be West Ham as a factor in this story, because they always asked for crazy money for Declan Rice, and I think this is not going to be an easy negotiation. They want more than £100 million for Declan Rice, so this is going to be a big fight, but for sure Arsenal are in the race. Arsenal, from what I understand, they will sign 2 midfielders this summer, so they dream of Declan Rice plus 1 more, and also a new fullback, new centre-back. So Arsenal want to sign important players to complete the squad for next season. They're finally back in the Champions League, so normal.
Tottenham perpetually saying to Chelsea, you think you're mad, hold my beer, no manager, no sporting director. And I don't know how you plan for the massive transition that squad needs again with that reality. Who's their new manager going to be, Fab, now that Sam Allardyce is back on the market?
Yeah, this is a really crazy situation, let me say, because it's really complicated. Tottenham is now more than 60 days without a permanent manager in charge. So this is incredible for a club of level of Tottenham. This is not a small club, this is a very big club. And they also had the chance to enter into Champions League because when they fired Antonio Conte, they were 4th in the table. So it was bad, but not that bad. And now the situation looks like a complete disaster. So Daniel Levy is trying to pick the best manager. He's in conversations with directors. First of all, they need a new director of football. The former Bayer Leverkusen director, Tim Steiten, is still an option. He's one of the 3 names they have in the list, not the only one. So they're deciding on a director very soon. And then they will pick the new manager. I'm told that Ange Postecoglou, who's doing an excellent job at Celtic, is a concrete name in the list. They wanted Arne Slot, but no way. He extended the contract at Feyenoord. That was a crazy situation last week.
Amazing.
So,
amazing.
Yeah, it's really crazy because it's not the first time it happened. Also the summer when they appointed Nuno, it was like a 3, 4, 5 weeks negotiations with many managers and then they ended up with Nuno. So it's always like that at Tottenham. They need to clarify the situation as soon as possible. I would keep an eye also on Luis Enrique until the end because Luis Enrique is in conversations with Napoli, but he told Napoli that he's attracted by some Premier League option. And so I feel that Luis Enrique is waiting for Tottenham now.
Harry Kane, another just incredible season. Is there any single way he can look at the wreckage all around the club he loves, Tottenham Hotspur, and say, yes, I'll stay here, I'll keep playing for the Spurs? What's the honest truth, Fab? Rip the Band-Aid off for Tottenham fans.
Yeah, I think there is a chance, honestly, for Harry Kane to stay.
Honestly?
Yeah, I think yes. I'm told that there is a chance because Daniel Levy is prepared to fight in a crazy way to keep the player, to offer him a new deal, and also to show Tottenham fans that after a difficult season, they can keep the player at the club. For sure, Harry Kane is considering some options because Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag is 100% convinced that Harry Kane is the perfect striker for his for his idea. But again, negotiating with Daniel Levy will not be easy at all. So I don't see that one as an easy one for Manchester United. And then we have to see what happens in the strikers domain also outside England, because we know Bayern are looking for a striker, PSG are looking for a striker. Don't underestimate PSG when we speak about Harry Kane, because they want a new centre striker, and Kane is one of the situations they are monitoring. And then Real Madrid are also looking for a new striker. I think they will invest on a top striker next summer 2024, but Harry Kane's situation is another one they're following. But Tottenham will fight to keep Harry Kane. Daniel Levy will fight to keep Harry Kane at the club. So not an easy situation at all for Tottenham to manage.
Real Madrid, Neil Maupay's available, call me. One big story we would be remiss not to talk about. Lionel Messi, yes, Senor Hulk's owner. You've reported he wants to make a decision on his future in the next few days, which doesn't mean he'll announce his new club. He just wants to pick his future club ASAP. Tell us what's going on there. Barca can't afford him right now. Al Hilal has been floating around with huge piles of cash forever. MLS, everyone seems to just kind of use as a bluff. You know, I think he's got as much chance of signing for Everton as into Miami right now. What's real, Fab?
Honestly, it's a difficult situation for Leo for one reason. He's tempted by Barcelona. He would love to return to Barcelona. But the feeling around Leo is that this is going to be a slow situation. It's like 1 month that we're speaking about Barcelona. Barca will make an official bid to Messi. It depends on financial fair play, on La Liga. And this is still the case. We're at the beginning of June, and they still don't have the green light from La Liga to make an official bid to Messi. So it's a strange situation for Leo, because he wants this Barcelona move, but at the same time, he doesn't have a proposal, an official proposal. So it's not about the money. It's not even about the project. It's about make me an official bid, because otherwise I can't proceed in these negotiations. I can't say yes to something that doesn't exist. So this is the point for Leo Messi. It depends really on financial fair play, because Barcelona are still waiting for La Liga, but Messi will decide very soon, because he doesn't want to be in the same situation as 2 years ago. Messi was in Barcelona headquarters to sign the contract, and 4 hours later they told him, we are sorry, we can't do that because of La Liga rules, so you are a free agent, and then he joined PSG. Messi doesn't want to arrive like July, August in the same situation with no clarity over his future. He wants to clarify that in June, so Messi will decide very soon. Let's see what's going to happen at Barca with the financial fair play, but they are still there, they are still fighting, and they're still trying to find a way. As you mentioned, Al Hilal proposal is still valid, is more than 400 million euros per season net, and it also includes some commercial deals. So this could be historical, the biggest proposal in football ever, and so they still hope for Leo Messi to say yes as soon as possible. And then some other club is trying to understand what's the situation, but my feeling is still Barcelona, Al Hilal. These are the two
what
options
other
for Messi.
What other club?
Honestly, I don't know, because they don't want to confirm yet, and they try to keep it secret. But the reality at the moment is that it's Al Hilal, Barcelona. They know that. They know that for Leo, this is the point. I'm sure it's not Everton.
Yeah, I was going to say, get down to Goodison Park, Leo, mate. Real quick.
That would be nice, honestly.
We're all one big family here at Everton, Leo. Real quick fire to finish. Yeah. For the American aficionado, let's start with the newest, instantly best American striker in the US squad, mighty Folarin Balogun. You mentioned him up top. He rides with us now, just 21 years old, on Arsenal's books, but just had a breakout season on loan in Ligue 1 with Rennes. Became the first American to score 20 goals in one season in a top 5 league. Unlikely to go back to Arsenal, as he wants to be the man with real playing time. What are his options, Fab?
Yeah, he wants to play, and this is why his agents will discuss with Arsenal over the possibility to make a permanent transfer this summer. So AC Milan like him, Leipzig like him, so Inter also. So these 3 clubs are in the race for sure. But Balogun feeling is that in the coming 2-3 weeks, other clubs will join the race too, because as we mentioned, it's a domino about strikers, and this is why he's taking his time before deciding. I'm sure that he will decide pretty early, because he wants to be ready for the pre-season with the new club. This is crucial for him, and so this is still the case. They will negotiate in June, but I feel that Inter, AC Milan, Leipzig want to insist in the coming weeks, but I'm sure that other clubs will join the race.
Weston McKennie arrived in Leeds in January. So much optimism. Departed with the sound of Leeds fans singling him out as he subbed out on relegation Sunday. Goes back to Juventus, who don't seem to want him. English tabloids try to connect him to Brighton. Is that just agents trying to make noise, Fab?
I feel that with Brighton at the moment there is nothing concrete, also because Brighton are going to sign James Milner on a free transfer, Mo Dahoud from Borussia Dortmund on a free transfer, so they don't have that kind of priority. At the moment it's still quiet. And again, on Juventus we have to understand who is going to be the director, the manager, before they make a decision, even the price tag of McKennie. So this is not clear yet, nothing is advanced yet. I still see the player leaving Juventus because I think he deserves to feel as an important player in another club, not making his move on loan in January. This is not for a player like Weston McKennie. I think he deserves to be an important player, to make his move and to try a different chapter after spending his good years at Juventus. But again, at the moment, Juventus' situation is not clear, so we just have to wait on that one. But I'm sure that he will be on the market, he will be available this summer.
Gio Reyna, last seen trying to change Dortmund's last day disaster scenario around, then collapsing in tears at the final whistle. Just substitute appearances down the stretch for Gio since the World Cup. Still just 20. Does he go anywhere, Fab?
Honestly, at the moment from Borussia Dortmund, the message is we will plan for that in the next weeks. They are still hurt after what happened in the weekend. That was absolutely crazy. So at the moment, there is nothing imminent, I'm sure. They have to speak to the player. What I understand is that a few weeks ago, they had a conversation with the player side to tell them, let's pick at the end of the season and plan for the future, because they can't continue like that. As you mentioned, he's still 20 and he deserves to play. He can't be always on the bench or play 10, 15 minutes. This is not for young talents. And Borussia Dortmund know that very well. They know how to handle young talents. And so there will be a conversation, and let's see what's going to happen from there.
Let's end with a positive one. You texted me this news on Saturday, Fab. I got to tell you, it made me so humanly happy. Ricardo Pepi leaning towards PSV Eindhoven after 12 goals scored on loan at Groningen this season. Eredivisie champions Feyenoord also said to be chasing. I mean, it makes me happy, mostly because Gent is 20, broke through on a hype train, and then completely floundered at Augsburg, was bizarrely overlooked for the World Cup, but has had the tenacity to persevere and rise again. Tell us what the next chapter has in store for Pepi, Fab.
Yeah, Feyenoord are trying to make advantage of the situation at PSV. PSV are in a really surprising situation because they were in negotiations for Pepi. Then what happened is that Ruud van Nistelrooy, the manager, left the club in a very surprising and fast way. And so now Feyenoord are trying to push because they know the timing is going to be crucial, and they started contacts with Augsburg to sign Ricardo Pepi. So there is a conversation ongoing between Feyenoord and Augsburg. For PSV, it's crucial to decide the new manager as soon as possible so they can return into talks and try to sign Ricardo Pepi. So it's Feyenoord, PSV. The player wants to continue in Eredivisie, for sure. He feels it's the best league for him for next season at least, and then maybe to move to other leagues in the future, but he's very happy in the Eredivisie. And so Feyenoord now ahead because of this manager situation at PSV, but let's see what happens in the next days, because I feel that PSV, if they will have a new manager, they will attack this situation again.
Godspeed, Fab. God bless. Wishing you strength and joy. Listeners, subscribe now to Fabrizio's podcast. Here we go. Twice a week, like this, but even better because I'm not on it. Fabrizio, to you and your partner, the mighty Francesco.
Yeah.
Grazie. Subscribe here for more Men in Blazers videos and courage.